Hello, and welcome to the Gooseboyz podcast. We are, as far as I know, the only good Goosebumps podcast out there in the world.
Only one?
I think there's like a couple more, but I didn't
probably not any good.
Didn't listen to a single one of them. We watched a few YouTube reviews after the last episode, and there was that kid that was like...
I've seen some bad ones.
Oh man, that one guy that like, it seemed like someone had a gun to his head forcing him to read this book. He seemed like he had no interest in this whole franchise. He was just like...
More like it was a chore.
The Haunted Mask 3 is pretty scary, I guess. Slappy
Pretty
the dummy.
scary, I guess.
You know, Slappy came back. R.L. Stein. That was pretty much the whole goddamn video for like 20 minutes of him describing this.
That guy.
I absolutely would not. I don't remember what his channel was called, but I won't plug it so we don't get in trouble for bullying. But we are back today.
These are just notes between professionals.
Exactly. We're discussing our field of expertise, the Goosebumps books.
Leading experts.
Oh, we are. We're essentially Goosebumps historians, as far as anyone is concerned. But today...
Didn't we make a Goosebumps video?
We did make it. Well, it wasn't a Goosebumps video.
We're in the industry.
It was a Halloween video that we used.
Goosebumps dubstep.
A Goosebumps dubstep cover, which... Honestly, that track fucking slaps. That's a good-ass fucking remix.
I don't know who made it.
I don't remember either.
Can't credit them.
Can't credit them. Check out the video. Skull Kids, A Day in Tear Town. Something like that.
That was a while ago.
Long time ago. I don't know if we're even going to be uploading these on that same channel, so we'll figure it all out. But...
Check out our anime Christmas video.
We're here today to talk about the second actual episode of the Goosebumps show, but like the 30-something book or the 27th.
It doesn't say on the cover.
It does not. But
beautiful cover.
The Cuckoo Clock of Doom.
I forgot the artist.
Keep your eyes on the birdie!
Tim Jacobs. The artist who does the Goosebumps covers.
Anyway, Keep Your Eye on the Birdie is
beautiful
the
art.
Tagline. Fantastic art on almost all of these books. Did we introduce ourselves?
Yeah, we did.
I think
that was in the test.
That was in the test.
Hey, it's me, Sherwood.
Hey, I'm Aaron R.L. Eads, and this is Sherwood
Steinbrenner James.
So yeah, we read the book of Cuckoo Clock of Doom and watched the corresponding episode, and now we're gonna talk about it from top to bottom. I think we're gonna focus on the book with this one, just because there's a lot more. All right, we're gonna take some aside. We're gonna take some asides to talk about the episode, but the book is pretty much the same story, but there's just more going on. So it starts out, this kid Mike having a bad time. His sister's
She's a real bitch.
The biggest bitch in the fucking world, and
she's
only
12. She's 7.
She's 7, and she is somehow playing like next level mind games to trick this kid. He's just getting fucked over.
She's not really playing mind games.
No, she started off with some some tricks of like, oh, look down at your shoe, it's untied. That was just to trick him into stepping on the gum. She was playing some JoJo mind tricks to get him to step in it. Yeah, so that little sister, immediately I was a bit...
He got kind of mad over that, like, okay, you stepped in some gum, whoop-de-doo.
So, at first, yeah, I was a little bit on the sister's side, so like, oh, come on, man, it's just some fucking gum, shut up.
Got him good.
But then the book keeps going, and this little sister is a fucking sociopath.
She's a sadist.
She is a literal fucking psychopath.
Schadenfreude? Is that how you pronounce that
Schadenfreude. I've heard it many different ways.
You love
the sense of other people's displeasure or pain. She is abusing their cat. She is...
At one point when she's younger... She says, give me a kiss, like she's a toddler, and his mom's like, oh, go do it, and he's like, alright, and then she jabs him in the eye, and then laughs about it.
And that's the thing, the mom and dad are the worst parents. That's
fucking gaslighters, man.
They are fully on that daughter's side in everything, and I get it, she's younger.
Like, more than half of his mom's dialogue is, Michael, stop messing with your sister.
Michael,
don't tell lies. Michael's a liar.
Always telling lies and fibs.
Always making up stories.
Lies and fibs. Meanwhile, his little sister's calling him a credge. That's jerk spelled backwards, by the way.
That's pretty clever.
That's not clever at all.
For a little kid.
Okay, yeah, she is 7. In the episode...
She's 6.
The actress on that character is just the fucking worst.
She was like a generic little kid.
She was a little kid just saying the words that were put in front of her.
Doesn't really make a mean face or anything.
She's just saying the words.
She sticks out her tongue once.
Mm-hmm. That's about as mean as she really gets.
I mean, she does trip him in the cave.
She trips him in the
She's
cave.
doing mean stuff, but she doesn't look as mean.
She doesn't look as mean, and in the show, she's
not really reveling in it that much.
She's not reveling in it, and there's really only like 3 instances of her really kind of being bitchy.
Her first thing in the show was he's just walking along, and she scares him.
No, so then
squirts him with ketchup.
He finds a trail of blood, and he's like, "Oh, what is this blood?"
Big trail of blood.
And he's following it into the woods, and then she jumps out with like a crocodile puppet or something on her hand, and like scares him, and he's like, "Ah!" and falls to the ground, and then she comes out with her cronies of other 7-year-olds calling him a credge.
That was a pretty good scare.
Told you he was a credge. Told you he was a cuck.
Jerk backwards, and then sprays him with a bunch of ketchup.
So he chases her, and then the mom, of course, takes the daughter's side. Takes Tara's side against fucking Mikey.
Well, she thought he threw some ketchup or some shit at the door.
Something.
And the daughter said, "Oh, he's chasing me." She believed her.
And of course she believed her. The dad, not much better in most regards.
He just cares about the clock.
He just cares about his clock. And he's like, he brings his clock in. Alright, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves, aren't we? So yeah, they flash back.
The birthday party.
They flash back to the birthday party. In the show, she trips him, but in the book,
he's saying, "Oh, this is my bitch of a little sister. She got me with the gum, which reminds me of my birthday party last week." And then he starts telling
flashbacks to the birthday party. So he's got all of his buddies coming over. He's got 3 girls coming over. 2 girls he didn't give a shit about, and the one he's just
get Mona.
He's wanting to get inside Mona. This kid is thirsty.
Whoa! They're 12 years old, man. They're not that explicit.
All right, the book isn't explicit.
He thinks she's real cute.
It's very clear that this kid wants to.
And he's got a crush on her.
So they're at the party, and earlier in the day at the party, he got his bike from his parents, and Tara immediately jumps on it, crashes it to the ground.
A big scratch on its nice shiny paint job.
You wrecked it! You wrecked my bike!
He did throw a fit.
He threw a fucking fit.
She didn't wreck the bike, but she jumped on there, and then she fell over, and the mom was like, "Oh no, are you hurt?" And she's like, "Oh no, I'm okay." And then there was a big scratch on the handlebars.
Yeah, and then when he was showing all of his friends it, they're like, "Yo, what's up with this fucking mark?" And he's like, not even worth it.
I'm not even going to do it to you.
So then they go back to the party because it's time to open presents. He wants to take his mind off it. Gets back to the fucking party, and this little bitch has opened all of his presents. The parents and all the other kids laughing it up as she does.
Were in the room?
I don't know if they were in the room, but they were in the house. They were clearly there, forcing this 7-year-old girl to be there at her brother's party, who did not want her there.
Well, no, they were allowing it.
Yeah,
they allowed her to go to the party.
Forcing him to allow it. That's not okay. That's his party. Why are you ruining it? You're the worst parents in the fucking world.
They also don't believe that she's doing anything wrong.
Sure, but that's not the point. It's his party.
Every time they're not looking, she's basically flipping him off.
Yeah. So she's opened all of his presents and is exposing that he's thirsty as fuck for Mona.
Haha, you like Mona.
You wanna fuck.
She didn't say that.
She explicitly said,
"You love Mona.
Mikey, your dick is hard for Mona. Everyone can see your boner, point and laugh." That is a direct quote from the book. I guarantee it. Scholastic approves.
She steps on his foot at one point.
She steps on his foot and he has to limp to the bathroom.
That he could be faking.
At a certain point.
Have you ever been stepped on the foot?
Yeah.
Real hard.
Yeah, it hurts.
And it hurts. But people are like, it probably didn't hurt that much. Fuck you. That hurt.
So, at a certain point...
She's a little girl, Michael.
For a little bit...
that much.
For a little bit, I'm going back and forth. Where...
It does sound...
Oh, Mike! God damn it! Just... she's 7. Don't let it get to you. You're almost twice her age. Shut the fuck up.
I don't know, man. A 7-year-old and a 12-year-old, they're pretty close in size.
Whatever. But maturity, he's a lot older than she is.
A foot difference.
He should be able to just, ignore her bullshit, especially when it's just taunting.
Hey, she keeps getting him, all the time.
And he really shouldn't be allowing
him doing anything.
He shouldn't allow himself to get his god as much as he did. But then as it goes on...
Blame the victim.
as it goes on, you see more and
You
more
got too much. It's
and
your
more
fault now.
and more that this little girl is just a literal goddamn monster.
She's a sadist.
She
loves it.
One of my notes at one point just says, "Bitch gotta die," and that's.
Yeah, she kept. She kept getting him.
It was around
Scratches
when
his bike, opens all his present, trips him so he falls on the cake.
That, like, after the party is when I was fully, alright, this girl's gotta die. But when...
They flash back after that.
When...
This party business reminds me of last week.
When they had people coming over to their house, and he was like, oh, I gotta get into my fucking frog costume to rehearse the play so I can kiss Mona. Because, as I said, he wants to bury it in her.
That part.
He really wants it. So he rushes upstairs because he's going to surprise him in his frog costume. He's like, oh, it's going to be great.
He was just complaining about, Tara the other day broke the lock on my door.
Yeah, he was begging his dad to fix it. And it took a whole week for him to get it done. So,
but this is before that.
So Mikey rushes upstairs. He takes off all of his clothes and is putting on the frog costume. Oh shit. Zipper stuck! What's he going to do? He can't get the costume on. But just then.
Well, yeah, he's in his underwear. He takes off all his clothes.
Can't get the costume on. And then opens the door. Tara's brought Mona and the girls into his room and he's in his underwear.
I brought all the girls up here just like you wanted.
That... You know, as much as I'm saying...
As she's smiling.
As much as I'm saying fuck Tara...
She gets him.
You gotta respect the play. She gets him. She gets him so hard. So often. Like, it is a non-stop getting session. So, of course, he's embarrassed, and the whole thing is rah, rah, rah.
And then that reminds him of another time that they were at the baseball. They were practicing baseball or something after school. And one kid who wears this blue cap. It's some sports team. He wears it all the time.
All the time. I don't remember.
And he saw Tara messing around by the bags, and he's like, "Oh, maybe she's just here for me to take her home from school." And then practice gets over, so he goes over there. Kid's like, "Where's my fucking cap?" And then he searches everyone's bag. The kid who gets his
no one leaves until we find my cap.
Grabs some other guy's bag, looks all through, grabs his bag, finds the cap in there.
Mikey's like, "Oh shit."
Gets his face
Tara got me. So I
wrote
down...
switches places with his nose.
I wrote down the specific quote here of...
He's unrecognizable.
Let's just say my clothes didn't fit too well when Kevin got through tearing me apart. What the fuck does that mean? Did he pull in his clothes a bunch, or did he
beat him so
bad that he inflated his entire body with swelling?
Even his mom couldn't recognize him.
It's so baffling that this was just allowed to happen at school. And then no one reacts to it, really. He's just fine.
Or is he exaggerating?
It could be! He is a bit of a bitch! Alright, so...
I'm taking it at face value, though. He's telling us this is what happened, so I believe his story.
So in comes the dad with this big-ass fucking cuckoo clock. Had his eyes on it for 15 fucking years. He is ecstatic about this goddamn cuckoo clock. And he is telling these kids, do not touch this cuckoo clock.
Well, he said he got it from the antique store.
The antique store, Anthony's
which
Antiques.
Had it for 15 years,
yes.
And he'd always admired it. But it had just recently gone on sale.
Because the owner found a defect with it.
Didn't tell him what it was.
He couldn't find out. Couldn't find out what it was, I guess.
There's a tiny flaw.
Tiny flaw. He didn't notice. He just wanted the clock.
He even asked the kids, like, do you know what? Do you see any flaws? You tell me.
And everyone was like, nope.
Nobody saw anything,
Dad. So the cuckoo clock bursts out, and it's described as the meanest bird face he's ever seen.
All over.
He gets terrified.
It is attacking his head.
It is going after him. I don't know how it would be attacking his head unless he was putting it right in front of the goddamn window.
No, it's going after him.
It is flying after the roof, targeting him. So
he almost dies of a heart attack.
Almost dies. But then fucking his dad is like, it's just a bird, you know? And then Tara's like, ha ha ha, you're a bird brain or some shit. Or you're a credge. And then
She only says that once in the show.
It wasn't in the book at all, but that's her catchphrase. So, the little sister can't leave this fucking clock alone. Mikey gets a good idea.
Well, the dad sees her messing with it once while he's not around.
And
he peeks around the corner, and they're in there.
And the dad's like, hey, If anything happens to this fucking clock, it's on you. So then Mikey catches an evil fucking scheme. Sparks start going off, light bulbs everywhere. Some fucking Home Depot lights going off. He's gonna fuck with this clock and get his sister in trouble. He's gonna fuck her. He's gonna get her how she's always gotten him. Now his fucking plan is he's gonna wait until the cuckoo comes out of the clock, and he's gonna turn.
He waits till midnight, so he knows when it's gonna come out. He waits till everyone's asleep.
And he turns the bird around.
Yeah, that's. He twists the head backwards.
So this is the prank.
He specifically twists the bird's head so it's facing backwards.
So the night art before that is when he was talking about all that things and all the stuff his sister did, and he's like, now you know why I did the awful thing that I did. The thing that I had to do. And it was just turning the head around on the bird. And
yeah, he's gonna get her.
He says when Dad saw it, he'd go ballistic. He'd explode like a volcano. Over the head being turned around?
He said he would be very upset if he saw anything else wrong with the clock.
So yeah.
That would probably get him. He loved that clock.
Does this, goes to bed, wakes up the next day, rushes downstairs, cannot wait to see his sister get in trouble. He is like practically jerking off to this idea. Sits down at the table and the parents are like, hey, happy birthday! What do you want for your birthday breakfast? And he's like, haha, you're fucking funny, guys. Birthday was 3 days ago. I'm not falling for another one of your pranks.
Where's the cereal at?
Where's that cereal? And she's like, you really want cereal for your birthday dinner? And it's like, fucking like
he sees all the decorations,
starts looking around, and it's like
everyone's saying the exact same things.
It's like the moment like a police drama where like they're figuring it all out, piecing it together, and the music's like
but he's not really figuring it out.
No, he's just like, huh?
Come on, guys.
Not funny. And then the same shit happens.
As his actual party, they draw him into the garage, and he's like, what do you mean, didn't you just give me a bike?
And then he literally just lets everything happen the exact same way party. Again.
They're saying the same things. It's a CD.
And he just lets it happen.
But we just had a party.
He's like...
You guys were at it.
He can't...
Don't you remember the party we just had?
This kid is the slowest to catch on to everything. Like, by the time he figures out that it is a time... Like, he's going back in time... He's still struggling to understand the concept of like, oh wait, I'm younger now?
Yeah, he actually becomes younger at some point. Goes back a year. No, he goes back to 3rd grade.
Yeah, when he was in 7th?
7th grade, yeah. He was 12, so he goes back to like 7 or 8.
Yeah, so just fair warning, information for the audience. I was homeschooled, so I don't understand any of the grade system.
Yeah, he starts out at 12 years old, which is like 7th grade.
K through 12.
6th or 7th grade.
You're born at age K, and you're out of school at age 12.
It's like the years line up, and then...
Yeah. No, I just explained it. Anyway, the Cuckoo Clock of Doom...
He goes back to 7 years old.
7 years old.
He shows up at the wrong class.
Because he doesn't know he's younger.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah.
Doesn't realize.
Doesn't figure it out.
Up to that point in the day, he hadn't noticed any difference.
Hadn't noticed jack
Went
shit.
to school, got up. The parents probably would have looked different.
His sister would have been significantly smaller.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you know, he just didn't notice for a bit.
He eventually catches on.
And then...
Tries to live his life.
He's still, like... Before he was younger and he was back in the frog situation, he by then knew that he was going back in time. But just kept forgetting every single detail of things that had changed, even though he repeatedly talked about the door being broken, or the lock. He somehow...
He has to do that again. He has to do it.
Yeah. For some reason, he's just like,
He tries not to do the same thing, but things keep happening. So it's like temporal snapback.
Yeah, it's a bit unclear because that only happens a
few times.
It happens during the party and during that, but then from then on,
back to
he can just kind of do whatever he wants.
But things still keep happening the same way. Like, he
breaks his arm when he's a kid,
yeah. And they're like, oh, dare you to climb this tree? And he's like, fine, I'll do it.
Clearly not
smart.
scared.
Yeah, they're taunting him for being scared. Scaredy cat. And he's like, clearly I'm not scared. I'm climbing this tree right now. And then, wait a minute. Didn't I break my arm around this time when I was younger? And then he falls off the tree.
Ouch!
Cut to the next day. He's even younger.
Oh, well, at least I didn't have to heal my goddamn arm. So, from here, it's pretty much just him. He's getting slowly younger, and he's like, I gotta get this fucking clock back.
Every time he wakes up, he's younger and younger.
They don't have the clock. He didn't catch on to this and keeps running to the goddamn front. Where's the clock? They bought it the day you turn the head around, and you went back in time from there. It's gone. So then he has to, he keeps trying to get on the bus.
He spends 50 cents, because it's lower than the other day when he was 12, and it was 75 cents.
And he just doesn't think about every little thing that might have changed.
Pays for the bus downtown. He's this smart. He pays for the bus downtown, gets there, they're closed for vacation.
But in the show, there's a man in a black trench coat that notices this little boy on his own, and he just starts walking towards him. The music's getting
something
real sinister. I don't think he said anything.
I think he said something, then that's why he noticed he was there.
Either way, this man in a black trench coat is creeping up on this kid. Then the dad just shows up, and he's like, you little goof, how'd you get here?
It's a shot of he's following him. He gets to the store. He sees his clothes, and he's like, what am I going to do? Cut back to the guy still following him.
The music's getting more and more sinister. But then there's just a dad there, and he's like,
the dad jumps in, at the last second.
Out of nowhere. Fucking flash steps into frame, and the guy
almost got raped.
That guy's gone. Never referenced again.
Coming.
Never seen again. This was not in the book. They literally just decided to throw in a pedophile.
The show was much scarier.
They decided to throw in a subplot about.
It's not a plot. It's just a little detail. It's not a great city.
Oh yeah, I remember in the show when the kid was he had a nightmare sequence where he was running down the hall on a green screen, getting chased by the grandfather clock.
Yeah, that was his nightmare sequence.
His nightmare sequence.
I don't know if that was in the book.
That was not in the book, but that was one of the better things they added for the episode.
Clearly running down a green screen,
looking behind,
looks back for it, and he's terrified.
A JPEG of the clock is flying at him,
down the hall,
and then the clock's midnight, and his little sister's face pops out of the cuckoo clock, and she's laughing at him. Oh man, this is just a fucking trip. So from there, he gets taken back, and then wakes up, and he's a fucking 1-year-old babby boo.
His baby can't talk.
Stuck in a crib.
He wakes up, and he's like, "Oh no, jail bars! I'm in jail.
I'm in prison."
And then realizes, "Oh no, I'm a baby."
Yeah, that wouldn't be the first fucking thing that comes to your mind in a de-aging story. Yeah, that would be my first fucking worry.
And then he realizes, "Oh no." Now, when I want to try to talk to people, I can't talk.
Can't talk at all. He can walk, but just barely, not very far. His family, sister isn't born yet, doesn't have to deal with all that shit. His family loves him. His parents are great right now. They love him.
At some point earlier, he was sitting around in daycare. When they put him in daycare and aren't you going to play with everyone else? And he said, no, I don't want to. He just sat there the whole time for a few hours.
Yeah, and it's I know you're 12, but
I'm a 12-year-old boy in a child's body.
You could have just played along with it to get it going more, not raise suspicion.
This kid isn't very smart.
Mikey is not very smart at all. But
now he's a baby.
He's a baby, and his parents are like, "Oh, let's go for a walk. Let's go get some dinner or some lunch, and we'll stop at that antique shop on the way." And he's like, "Yeah, let's go to the antique shop." They go in there.
In the book, they just kind of end up there.
Yeah, they just wander in randomly. In the show,
they're having a conversation. What should we do? And he's like, "Oh, go to the antique store." Whatever they say. He's trying to get all happy.
And he convinces them, they're like, "Oh, he's fine, it's great, let's go." So they get there, and they're gonna go look for some tables. They just leave their baby in the stroller alone while they walk off into another part of the store with the owner. Baby gets out.
There's no one else in the store.
Gets out. He sees that it's 2 minutes until noon, and the cuckoo's gonna come back. This is his last chance to turn the head around.
Only chance.
He starts climbing chairs together, and he's getting up there, but he's too late, and his parents grab him. But just as they're lifting him up, they happen to lift him just high enough to where he can reach the cuckoo clock.
Well, at some point,
turns it back around.
He jukes his mom, and he makes it look like he's gonna fall, so she
grabs him, whatever.
She, like, doesn't grab him.
But then she does... No, she does grab him and lift him up.
And then she grabs him.
And he... Just enough to turn it around, and he gets sent back in... Whoa! Back to the future! Marty flies his way back to his house, and his mom's there, and he's like, "Oh, I fucking love you guys! Shit, yeah!"
Picture on the mantle.
Picture on the mantle, and it's like, "What? Huh? Tara's gone?
Where's Tara?"
And they're like,
"Tara who?
Your invisible friend? What are you talking about? Who's Tara?" And he's like, he starts running up to her room, and it's gone. And it's like, he looks back at the clock, and in the scuffle of when he was trying to turn the thing, he chipped off the year that Tara was born on the clock. That it had years for some reason.
No, that was set from the start. They said there was a dial on the side and then a big list of years, all the way from 1800?
Something like that to 3000.
All the way up to year 3000.
Yeah. So the year that Tara was born was erased, essentially.
1998?
It was 96 in the book.
88.
It was 96 in the book, but then 89 in the show. And
it was 88.
I think it was 89.
I think it was 88 in the book.
No, it was definitely 96 in the book, because it was like, it took place in like 2001.
Yeah, they counted up 95, 97.
Yeah. And I think I remember that because in the Goosebumps game, I think you run into the cuckoo clock, and the answers are those 2 years because of the difference between the book and the episode. Yeah, so he's like, "Where's Tara?" And then he's like, "She's gone." And he's like, "I guess
because the year got knocked off.
I guess there's probably a way I could go back and get her. I'll do it someday.
Maybe.
The end." And
one of these days.
He got her. She's dead.
Well, she's not dead.
She never existed. He fucking got her. Bitch got.
In the movie, I mean
the movie, yes.
In the movie version.
In the film adaptation of R.L. Stein's Goosebumps, The Cuckoo Clock of Doom.
They put that on film.
Keep your eyes on the birdie. I definitely do not think that this was on film. This looks like fucking video, man.
Yeah, video film.
No, I'm talking about like VHS
tapes are film.
Not real. I'm talking about like cinema film.
Well, I mean film in general.
Sure. Whatever. We're talking about whatever.
Film versus digital. But yeah, he went to the store. When they went to the store, it was less of a scene. In the book, it was a whole scene.
It was a whole thing.
An action scene of like they were faking each other out.
Yeah.
And like he almost fell at some point.
Yeah, it was a whole set piece.
In the show, he just kind of walked up there. He kind of did it, and they were like, "Oh no, get the baby!" And then he reached out the last second and got it. And then it gets zapped with electricity.
Yeah,
back to the
instantly
future.
Back to the future.
And he knocked over a pole that like it hit the year off, and it just fell on the floor.
Yeah.
So if he wanted to fix it, he could just go back to the store, even in present day, and maybe look for that year. Maybe it's underneath something.
Could fix it,
or make one himself and just like glue it back in there.
Or fuck her. She's a cunt.
If he wanted to.
He shouldn't. He definitely should not.
He was looking pretty happy when he was looking up, "Oh, maybe I'll help her someday. I'll get her back."
In the show.
In the show. And then he looks up and smiles.
In the book, it's like very explicit, like, I'm probably not gonna. Because in the book especially, she deserves to fucking die.
Yeah.
Like, no question about it. That girl will kill someone at some point. She gotta go.
She's a sadist.
She's a monster. I gotta go pee, so let's just take a break. I can edit it.
Marlon Wayans has a Netflix comedy.
Don't imagine that's good.
Where?
Wait, I want to guess the title. Is it something to do with, like, trigger, sensitivity?
No.
What is it?
Unrelated to that.
Okay.
Netflix comedy where he plays 6 people.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's called Sextuplets.
Sure. Alright. Alright, let's get back to this. We're back, Sherwood James. Yeah. And, last time we didn't really have any segments. So, since I'm doing all the editing and all that, I said, hey, why don't you tackle it, and you gung-ho, you're going to handle the segments. So...
I don't really have any segments prepared.
But...
Just letting you know.
But wait, that was the plan.
Yeah, so continue your speech.
So I got one segment I got two segments. So, running themes that we have seen so far. Everyone in this kid's life fucking hates him. Same with Carly Beth.
Listen to him. Gaslighting.
Everyone hated Carly Beth. Everyone bullied Carly Beth. Yeah. Everyone had hated Mikey. Everyone bullied Mikey. Victim. They are nothing but a goddamn victim. There was another goddamn similarity. Oh yeah, both of these stories featured salesmen knowingly selling fucked up items.
Yeah, well, how do you get the spooky item?
You find it in a box in an alley or something? I don't know.
Yeah, you could buy it. Classic horror situation.
An antique store.
Someone sells you a cursed item.
Yeah. But, like, they keep trying to, like, present the people selling it as, like, oh, well, either they're unaware, they were just like...
Yeah, that's how it goes.
I guess it's okay.
They had no idea.
Like the the one in
they
Haunted
had some
Mask.
idea, but like it probably won't hurt them.
The one in Haunted Mask fucking knew.
You know, I really don't want to sell you this, but you'll probably make it out alive.
The one in Haunted Mask especially is just like, why would you sell this to anyone in your lab faces?
This item has killed everyone who's ever owned it, but maybe it'll work for you.
$20. That's the whole fucking plot. So my other segment, pop culture references. Do you remember what they were?
Didn't catch any
There's one in the book and one in the episode.
Just one pop culture reference?
One in each, they're both different.
Well, you referenced CDs.
That's not a pop culture. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about specifically. So
the 90s pop culture icon.
In the book, when he's in his like 3rd grade class or whatever, a kid has a sticker on his hand. Donatello from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes, I remember that.
just out of nowhere, random.
I remember the Ninja Turtles.
Specific name of pop culture thing. Less explicit in the show, but when...
That's like putting Fortnite in these days.
When he turned into a kid, he turned to the camera, slapped his cheeks to his face, and went, ah!
Home Alone.
He did a Home Alone. So, those are my segments. That's all I got.
Pop culture references. There were a lot in
Haunted Mask. It was non-goddamn stop. You had Star Trek mask, Freddy's hand. They were talking about everything. There were like Jasons and Pinheads probably.
Okay, the similarities between the characters. Everyone's always dunking on him.
Always getting got.
In this one... in Haunted Mask, her parent was pretty supportive.
She was.
This one, parents against him.
Against him.
They were, like, actively making his life worse.
We should keep tally of
punishing him for Tara's act.
How many times there are actually good parents in any of these episodes.
This is a classic situation of the parents are part of the problem.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's just such an easy, perfect setup of... Of course they wouldn't fucking believe this kid talking about monsters in the library or some shit. Like, it's a dumbass kid.
He's always lying. He's always making up stories.
Fibbing.
We never really had any evidence of that other than them just not believing him.
The little sister was just
she was making up stories.
Next level, though. Her stories were so good.
They clearly favored the older sister.
Clearly. Well, I mean...
You're gonna hurt her. She's just a little girl.
Can you blame him?
He never did anything.
But he's still like
anything he ever did was like retaliation against something she had just done to him.
Alright, he's a credge. We all know this.
That's jerk. Backwards.
They said it twice in a row, explained it, then said it again.
She is bragging about it.
She loves that joke. She is so fucking proud of it. Oh, man. So...
when he was a baby in the show... In the book, he got fed. He got bottle fed. And he was like, I don't care for this.
Like this.
In the show, got his mom said, oh, you're looking a little cranky. I'll have to take your temperature.
And then she swabs the thermometer in petroleum jelly. And he's like,
So he got his temperature taken.
He got his baby ass penetrated. And another line that I liked in the scene where he was a baby in the book was, if you don't take me to Anthony's Antiques, I'll throw myself out of my crib and crack my head open. Like,
it's pretty dark.
That's what's so weird about these books is
he's
like
gonna kill himself.
Most of the time they're just like, oh, wacky do, a green monster costume jumped out and spooked me, and then sometimes it's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, bitch. I'm gonna slit my own throat and fuck your ass, and it's like, whoa!
That far.
It feels like it's that far out of nowhere. Like, Jesus Christ, a baby talking about committing suicide?
Well, in the show, he was a lot snarkier.
He was.
He's like joking around. Can't get no respect. He didn't say that.
He was basically, look who's talking.
Every time they say something and he can't say anything, he's just in his head like, tell me about it.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do here? Kill myself?
So, here's another idea for a segment. Just came up with it. How would you make a sequel to this?
A sequel to Cuckoo Clock of Doom?
The Cuckoo Clock of Doom.
Cuckoo Clock of Doom 2.
I would call it the Cuckoo Clock of Doom.
Yeah, that sounds like some Star Wars shit.
Yeah. But it would be like a toucan. So that we were like, it's two.
Yeah. It's just like an Islander themed.
It's an Islander themed cuckoo clock, the Cuckoo Clock of Doom. And it's like, they got like Hawaiian people telling like the story of it, of how it came to be, and it came from like a volcano or something. And they encapsulated the volcano spirit into the cuckoo clock.
Is time magic gonna factor in here?
Not in this one, no. It's
Time
actually lava magic, and it's just lava melting everything.
Alright, so you turn its head around and the volcano goes off?
No, you don't turn its head around. You gotta take its beak off, and then you eat Fruit Loops through it.
Okay,
that's how you beat it.
This is part of the magic ritual.
Yes.
Fruit Loops.
Well, all right.
Designed product.
So it wasn't originally Fruit Loops, but it's explained that there was an ancient food that they used to eat and sacrifice to the volcano, and just
Fruit
naturally
resembles it.
through like
In
the chemical makeup of Fruit Loops happens to be like 99.9% identical to whatever the thing they were feeding the volcano was before.
99.99% is good enough for this
trick
ritual.
this ritual, yes. You have to take it off, and you have to embody the spirit of it and eat that food to break the curse. And if you don't, the entire world will be flooded with lava.
Well, I can't imagine how anyone could get wrapped up in a situation like this.
Well, it's quite a story, but I'm not going to tell you because that's just the setup. Now it's your turn.
My turn for what?
To come up with a sequel.
I'm gonna have to pass.
Great stuff, Sherwood. Just fantastic.
I can't beat that one.
Okay, that's fair enough. So one of the other segments we had in my mind was what would be a good matchup of an interesting fight against this threat?
Yoshikage Kira.
Yoshikage Kira.
They're both going backwards in time.
Yoshikage Kira from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Absolutely agree. Part 4. Diamond is Unbreakable.
Probably the best one.
Maybe. My favorite. I'm still really hot on 5.
5 is really good.
I'm really hot on 5 right now. Maybe over time I'll go back through them.
I'm just saying overall.
4 is very good. I'm not disparaging 4 by any means.
4 is hitting all the points for me.
Right now, at this very moment, I'm still hot on 5, so I can't be too objective about it. Golden fucking win, man. Gold experience.
That opening, Trader's Requiem.
Trader's Requiem. Oh, that's just such a good title in general. This fucking starts with the hand kiss. Oh, this is not a JoJo's podcast. We gotta...
Stands. Yeah, that's the stand that would beat Cuckoo Clock of Doom's.
Yeah. Killer Queen. Yeah. Alright, I think we're about running out of things to talk about, so we'll just call it there. A solid episode.
Yeah, probably should have looked at more trivia.
We really should have. We are not prepared for this at all.
Mona. Not very cute in the show.
Mona? That was a bitch.
I don't think she's a bitch. She's less of a bitch in the show.
In the show, absolutely. Well, she was barely in the show.
In the book, she was like clowning on him.
Standing
on his arms.
Just as hard as anyone.
Forced him to climb the tree where he broke his arm.
Was letting his sister open his presents, the presents that she also brought for him.
She did also like him.
Apparently, but only when Tara wasn't around, because I guess Mikey is like a much better person without Tara. Everyone likes him way more. His parties are great.
Worse.
Yeah. The whole world's better off without Tara. Alright, well, this has been the Gooseboyz!
I'd say Michael was cuter in the show.
The Cuckoo Clock of Boys. Is that what we're going to call it? Wasn't that one of our segments we were going to discuss what we were naming it?
Boyz of Doom.
Cuckoo Boys of Doom? Alright. Cuckoo Boys of Dooms it is. Bye!